Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Psalm Sunday. It's a little series on this channel where we look at a psalm in a number of different translations and see what we make of them and what the differences are and which ones we like the most. Since I'm assuming that, like me, most of you can't read these things in the original. Today we're going to do Psalm number 136, and we're going to start with the King James Bible, which I think is probably the most famous, although I'm not sure, listening to a lot of you in emails, that it's the most widespread. I'm pretty sure that the more modern translations have overtaken the King James as being sort of the lingua franca of English language translations. But we'll start with the King James. We'll move on from there. So this is Psalm number 136. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks unto the God of gods, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his mercy endureth forever. To him alone doeth great wonders, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that by wisdom made the heavens, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that stretcheth out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that made great lights, for his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever. And the moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that smote Egypt in their firstborn, for his mercy endureth forever, and brought out Israel from among them, for his mercy endureth forever. With a strong hand and with a stretched out arm, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which divided the Red Sea into parts, for his mercy endureth forever, and made Israel to pass through the midst of it, for his mercy endureth forever, but overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which led his people through the wilderness, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which smote great kings, for his mercy endureth forever, and slew famous kings, for his mercy endureth forever. Sihon, king of the Amorites, for his mercy endureth forever, or Og, the king of Bashan, for his mercy endureth forever, and gave this land for an heritage, for his mercy endureth forever. Even an heritage unto Israel, his servant, for his mercy endureth forever. Who remembered us in our low estate, for his mercy endureth forever, and hath redeemed us from our enemies, for his mercy endureth forever. Who giveth food to all flesh, for his mercy endureth forever. O give thanks unto God of heaven, for his mercy endureth forever. So there in the King James, you see what we're going to encounter two more times. We'll do two more translations of that. You see what this is, right? This is a call and response for a liturgical service. The phrase, for his mercy endureth forever, would be the response of the audience. The celebrant would be leading someone through this. So we'll go to what I think is probably the most popular, and that is the NIV. We'll go to the New International Version for Psalm 136. You'll notice that obviously you can tell already just from looking at the King James, especially if you followed along with Psalm Sunday for weeks now, you'll be able to tell right away that there's not going to be much variation between these three. This is not a complex thing at all. But let's do 136 in a version that's almost certainly more likely to be read in your church service. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Notice immediately mercy has been changed to love. Give thanks to God, the God of gods. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord of lords. His love endures forever. To him alone does great wonders. His love endures forever. Who by his understanding made the heavens. His love endures forever. Who spread out the earth upon the waters. His love endures forever. Who made the great lights. His love endures forever. The sun to govern the day, his love endures forever. The moon and stars to govern the night, his love endures forever. Him who struck down the firstborn of Egypt, his love endures forever, and brought Israel out from among them, his love endures forever. With a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, his love endures forever. To him who divided the Red Sea asunder, his love endures forever, and brought Israel through the midst of it, his love endures forever. But swept Pharaoh and his army into the Red Sea. His love endures forever. To him who led his people through the desert, his love endures forever. Who struck down great kings. His love endures forever, and killed mighty kings. His love endures forever. Sihon, king of the Amorites, his love endures forever, and Og, king of Bashan, his love endures forever, and gave their land an inheritance. His love endures forever, an inheritance to his servant Israel. His love endures forever. To the one who remembered us in our low estate, his love endures forever, and freed us from our enemies. His love endures forever, and who gives food to every creature. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the God of heaven. His love endures forever. So you'll notice that a key word has been changed in the antiphon there, but also that is clearer. That is more direct, although some of the archaic terminology is taken straight from the King James without alteration. It's a very simple psalm. I think that's what accounts for it. Well, let's look at something that is not part of that tradition, the Jerusalem Bible, and let's see the major differences. There are bound to be some. Are we going to go from mercy to love to something else? Let's take a look. This is Psalm 136 in the Jerusalem Bible, which starts with the word Alleluia. Give thanks to Yahweh, for he is good. His love is everlasting. So there we go. And no question of enduring here. It's just turned into one word. Give thanks to the God of gods. His love is everlasting. Give thanks to the Lord of lords. His love is everlasting. He alone performs great marvels. His love is everlasting. His wisdom made the heavens. His love is everlasting. He set the earth on the waters. His love is everlasting. He made the great lights. His love is everlasting. The sun to govern the day. His love is everlasting. The moon and stars to govern the night. His love is everlasting. He struck down the firstborn of Egypt. His love is everlasting, and brought Israel out. His love is everlasting. With mighty hand and outstretched arm, his love is everlasting. He split the sea of reeds. His love is everlasting. Led Israel through the middle. His love is everlasting. Drowned Pharaoh and his army. His love is everlasting. He led his people through the wilderness. His love is everlasting. He struck down mighty kings. His love is everlasting. He slaughtered famous kings. His love is everlasting. Sihon, king of the Amorites. His love is everlasting. And Og, king of Bashan. His love is everlasting. He gave their lands as a legacy. His love is everlasting. A legacy to his servant Israel. His love is everlasting. He remembered us when we were down. His love is everlasting, and snatched us from our oppressors. His love is everlasting. He provides for all living things. His love is everlasting. He gives thanks. Give thanks to the God of heaven. His love is everlasting. So the Jerusalem Bible is far more incantatory. It's really stripped down to the basics as opposed to the others. But there's precious little in the way of poetic ornamentation here. This is mainly just a chant for a religious service. As such, it's pretty interesting. It's interesting for me to imagine what that crowd in, for instance, the Great Temple in Jerusalem would have been like. As far as interpretation goes, well, you've got little hooks to snag archaeology on with that mention of the Amorites or of the king of Bashan. Precious little else. The problems that you run into here, it is a very simple psalm. The problems that you run into are when you look at it as anything more than a well-preserved ancient religious ritual, a call and response religious ritual. If you look at anything more than that, and as a Christian, you are compelled to do that. You are commanded to look at this as more than just an interesting Near Eastern document that preserves the rituals of a religious service. As a Jew, you are also commanded to look at it differently than that. You are commanded to believe that it contains truth with a capital T. And that raises a whole bunch of problems, right? Obviously, they will be pretty obvious. It wasn't that long, in terms of geology anyway, it wasn't that long after this psalm was chanted this way in the Great Temple in Jerusalem, that the Great Temple in Jerusalem was sacked and ripped to the ground by the Romans, who suffered no penalty for that. They did not stop, nothing stopped that from happening. No supernatural being stepped in and said, oh no, no you don't. Same thing with that, not to touch on, the full horrors of history, but that line about how God stretches out his hand and saves his people is obviously not true. Unless he's got a weird idea of what's good for them and what's bad for them, then it's obviously not true. And not just in terms of history, but just in terms of observable reality. Earth is not spread out on water. Earth is not flat. It's not spread out on water, and also the space around the Earth is not full of water. It's vacuum. And also, the stars and the moon don't go away at night. They aren't little, and they don't go away at night. They're on the other side of the world. The only reason that the psalmist puts it this way is because the psalmist thought the Earth was flat. And the moon is not a source of light. Of course, it emits no light of its own. It reflects the light of its nearby star. But that's all. That's all it does. So, and they're also not contemporaneous. Many of the pinprick stars that you see at night came into being, were created, were formed out of stellar nebulae billions of years before Earth star was formed. Earth star is certainly not bigger than most of them, and is not older than most of them. That sort of thing becomes a problem if you're looking at this as more than just what it is on the surface. Although, I have to say, even just what it is on the surface, I would like to think that even had I been in that audience chanting this in the great temple in Jerusalem, it would have given me pause that we're told over and over again that his mercy, his love, endureth forever. And a lot of the examples of that are him killing children. Striking down the firstborn of Egypt, all well and good to use that poetic phrase, but that means killing children who are by definition innocent. And lots of them, a whole country's worth of them, every firstborn child in Egypt was killed as one of the plagues. Killing kings, killing Pharaoh, and drowning all of his soldiers. When Pharaoh was perfectly, in the story that we're referring to here, it's obviously a story, none of this really happened, any more than leading your people through the wilderness, a wilderness that a healthy person could hike through in 2 days. It's in the story, Pharaoh receives one of these otherworldly warnings that the Israelites are protected, that they are protected people, they have supernatural protection, and immediately agrees, well, all right, okay, you've got terms, they're pretty onerous, I don't want to lose a slave force, but you can go, absolutely, I don't want any more trouble from your supernatural being, and that supernatural being changes his mind, hardens his heart, changes his mind. So we don't know if Pharaoh is aware of this or not. Is he being compelled, like mind control in Star Trek, or is his nature changed one way or another? His initial answer to Moses' demands is, okay, pack up and go. I don't want any more trouble. Maybe in his darkest imagination, he was thinking, well, if I don't yield, who knows how bad these disasters will get. It could even be as bad as blighting my crops. I'm sure that even in Pharaoh's bloodthirsty mind, it would never have occurred to him that one of these punishments could be a mass slaughter of people who are completely innocent. They're completely innocent of any kind of wrongdoing. I'm sure that would never have crossed his mind, but he was trying to avoid catastrophes like that, and God forced him not to. God hardened his heart. It wasn't Moses who did that. It wasn't he and Moses getting off on the wrong foot. So, celebrating him for killing Pharaoh when Pharaoh chases after you, celebrating him, saying that his love and his mercy endures forever, when the very thing you're talking about is him killing children. I would like to think that even if I'd been in that original audience, it would have struck me as really, really odd, a really odd thing to celebrate. So you get all kinds of issues like that to talk about amongst your friends when you're reading something like this, especially if you get together on a Sunday and read multiple translations of this all at once. Although I have to admit, obviously this time around, Psalm 136 will not be particularly interesting along those lines. There's virtually no variation among the three that we're dealing with today. And that's not a question of the translations. That's just a question of the psalm that we picked. So we'll see if next week's psalm is any more interesting as we commence our last month of Psalm Sunday for 2023. So I'll wrap this up for now, and I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.